Hello Year 2 and Year 1. Welcome to this week's whole class read questions for you to have a think about when Miss Parsons reads you the story. So this week we're looking at a new book called Sky Colour, and as Miss Parsons has told us, it's a different book, but it's the same author, isn't it? It's by Peter H. Reynolds, and you'll notice that it's the same illustrator who's painted the pictures as well. So today is Monday the 18th of May, and I'd like you to start the book and read up to here, where you can see this page here. Okay? Remember that you could pause Miss Parsons' video and read the words for yourself if you're in Year 2 or you're Year 1 and you fancy a challenge. Okay, so some questions for today, children. It says, name 2 ways that Marisol liked to make art. Remember, you could write me a full sentence, which I would love, or you could just write a few words to answer your question, okay? Remembering that the blue questions are slightly easier and the green ones a bit trickier. Next question. Marisol thought that some people are no good at drawing. Is that true or is it false? Did she really think that some people are not good at drawing? Have another look and see if you can remember. And the last question for today, let's read it together. What do you think Marisol was passionate about? Why do you think this might be? So, if we look back, children, at this poster, it says she painted posters to share ideas she believed in. So this is going to be a bit of a clue. If you're passionate about something, you really believe in it. So look at the poster carefully. What was Marisol passionate about? And why do you think she was passionate about that? You can pause the video here and have a go at some of those questions, and then I'll see you tomorrow for some more. Okay, welcome back Key Stage 1 children. It's Tuesday the 19th of May today. We're going to continue with our lovely book called Sky Colour. Okay, so I'd like you please to stop your reading today on this page here, where they've drawn the really big picture on a really big piece of paper. Perhaps you'd like to start the story from the beginning and read through to here so that you're starting to get to know it really, really well. Alrighty, let's have a look at our questions today. The first one says, what does the word mural mean? It says that they were going to paint a mural at school, doesn't it? And if you listen carefully to Miss Parsons, she actually told us what a mural is. So I'd like you to explain that to me. Next question. What did Marisol say she would paint? Somebody said, I'll paint a fish. Somebody else said, I'll paint one too. Another child said, I'll paint the ocean. What did Marisol say she would paint? And our last question, it's a bit more thinking time involved in this one. It says, which of our school values are the children showing in this part of the story, where they're making their large drawing on the piece of paper? Remember, our school values are resilience, trying hard when it gets tough, resourcefulness, finding things to help us, reflectiveness, thinking about what went well, what we could do better, relationships, working as a team, and aspiration, aiming high and trying our best to reach our goals. So I think that these children showed lots of different values, but I'd like you to explain how they showed us those different values. I think they showed resourcefulness because they had to find that huge piece of paper to plan their mural, didn't they? Which other values did they show? Have a think and I'll see you tomorrow. It's Wednesday today. Let's read from the beginning of the story up until this part where Marisol's sitting on the school bus on the way home. Okay, question 1 says, what does the word rummaged mean? Marisol rummages in that box of paints, doesn't she? What does that mean? Have a think, see if you can find some clues in the pictures or in the story. If you're really not sure, you could go on the internet and Google it, or you could ask a grown-up, couldn't you? Next question. How did Marisol feel when she couldn't find any blue paint? Miss Parsons gives us a few ideas, doesn't she? How do you think she felt when there was no blue paint in that box? And the last question, it's open to a bit of interpretation here. Your idea might not be the same as mine, but that's fine. It says, what might Marisol have been thinking about while she was travelling home? So she looked like she was daydreaming, doesn't she? Out the window, having a real good wander. But what was she wondering about, do you think? See you tomorrow. It's Thursday the 21st of May today. We're going to look at some more of our Sky Colour book and see if we can do some more thinking in depth. So I'd like you to read from the beginning to this part here where the sky is grey and it's raining while she's waiting for the school bus. Our first question thinks about this page here with the beautiful dream. It says, what does the word horizon mean? Horizon, that word is actually on the page before. I'd like you to see if you can look it up online or ask a grown-up. What's a horizon? It's a noun, a naming word. And I'd like you to have a look at this beautiful coloured picture and see how many verbs, action words, can you find on this page. Now if I make this page a bit larger, maybe we can do the first one together. So we're looking for action words. Ready? She drifted, didn't she? That's how she moved through a sky swirling with colours. That's what the colours were doing, weren't they? They were swirling. And Marisol drifted. Are there any more verbs or action words in this piece of writing on this page? Have a think. And the last question is thinking about this page here. And it says, why do you think Marisol was smiling? So if I don't read the text on that page and I just look at the page, it doesn't look like a very happy page. It doesn't look like she'd want to be smiling. So what is actually making her smile? Have a think. See you tomorrow. Okay children, it's Friday the 22nd of May today. It's our last day of our story and we're going to read right from the beginning to the very end here. Okay, this blue question says, how did Marisol make the sky colour? What did she do? In the morning she went back to school and what did she do? And the last question, it's a nice one to end with. Think of a time that you had an obstacle to overcome. So that's like a challenge, isn't it? Marisol's challenge was that she didn't have blue in the box to make her sky. So she had to think of a different way. So think about a time where you had a challenge or an obstacle to overcome. How did you do it? Did you ask for help from a grown-up? Did you ask for help from a friend? Did you do some research? What did you do to overcome your obstacle? And how did you feel once you had overcome your obstacle? Did you feel pride? Were you proud of yourself? Did you feel happy or excited that it was overcome and that you'd completed your challenge? I'd like you to have a think about that. So it doesn't have to be to do with painting, it could be to do with anything. Okay, Miss Lyons had a challenge when I was baking this week. I baked a cake and I left it in the oven for too long and some of it got burnt. So at first I thought, oh dear, my cake is ruined. I was very upset and a bit cross as well. But then I decided to be a bit resilient and a bit creative and I decided to see if I could cut the burnt bits off. So I cut the burnt bits off, put some icing on the bit that wasn't burnt and it was good as new. And I felt really proud of myself once I'd done that because I still had a delicious cake and I had been really creative about how to make it better. So what about you? Have you had an obstacle to overcome? How did you do it? And how did it make you feel afterwards? I'll see you soon. Have a lovely half term and a lovely weekend and we'll be back together soon, I'm hoping. Take care. Bye bye.